Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. I'm really looking forward to this one. Today, we're taking on a topic that can feel like a bit of a monster.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
Staying on top of
Beast. Fascinating beast.
for sure. And luckily, we've got a fantastic guide from Mahi Sir, a real expert in this field, to help us navigate.
Mahi Sir, yeah, he's got some great insights, that's for sure.
We're going to really dig into his advice and pull out the most valuable tips and strategies to make this whole process less overwhelming and way more effective. So, ready to ditch the fire hose approach and get strategic.
Absolutely, let's dive in.
So Mahi Sir starts off strong, really emphasizing the importance of a solid foundation. Building a house, got to have a strong base.
Yeah, the analogy makes a lot of sense. You wouldn't build a skyscraper on shaky ground. It's all about that solid foundation.
Exactly. And in this case, that foundation is a deep understanding of the UPSC syllabus, inside and out.
Really got to know that syllabus. It's your blueprint. It tells you what to focus on, helps you filter out the noise.
So you're not just drowning in a sea of news.
Right, right. It's all about knowing which current events are actually relevant.
Okay, so that makes sense, having that strong foundation. But then there's the actual task of staying up to date.
Yeah.
How do we even begin to tackle that?
Well, that's where Mahi Sir gets really specific, which I appreciate. He recommends starting with reliable sources.
The good old classics.
Exactly. The Hindu, Indian Express, and those official government publications, they're your trusted building blocks.
Those are the go-to sources for sure.
Yeah, they're the bread and butter for anyone serious about the UPSC exam.
So we've got our foundation, we've got our sources, but now the question is, how much time do we need to dedicate to actually reading and absorbing all of this?
That's where things get really interesting. I love how Mahi Sir really stresses consistency over cramming. He suggests carving out 1 to 2 hours every single day for current affairs.
Every day. So we're talking about making this a regular habit.
Exactly. It's not about those marathon study sessions. It's about integrating it into your daily routine. And he even has a suggestion for the best time of day.
Oh, really? Let's hear it.
Mornings.
Makes sense to me to start the day off informed.
Apparently, there's even some science behind it. Studies show that our brains are more receptive to new information in the morning, something about cortisol levels and how our memory works. So starting your day with current affairs could actually lead to better absorption and retention.
Wow. So we're not just being productive, we're actually taking advantage of our brain's natural rhythms.
Exactly. Working with your brain, not against it.
I like it. Okay, so we're waking up, grabbing our coffee, and diving into our trusted news sources. But how are we actually engaging with this information? Are we just passively reading, or is there a more active approach we should be taking?
Mahi Sir is all about active learning, and I think that's key. He breaks it down into 3 steps. You read, you summarize, and then you revise.
Each step reinforcing the information. So let's say I'm reading an article about a new government initiative. What would active learning look like in that scenario?
Okay, so imagine you're reading about, let's say, a new government initiative on sustainable agriculture. Instead of just skimming through it, you really engage with it. You try to summarize the key points in your own words, connect it back to relevant syllabus topics like environmental policy or economic development, and jot down potential arguments or questions that might come up in the exam.
So it's not just about absorbing facts, it's about analyzing and connecting the dots.
Precisely. It's about turning information into understanding.
Now, note-taking seems to be crucial here. What are Mahi Sir's thoughts on that?
He's all about keeping it concise and focused. Bullet points are your best friend.
No need for lengthy paragraphs.
Exactly. So in our sustainable agriculture example, you might note down things like the name of the initiative, the key objectives, the potential impact on farmers, and how it aligns with broader national policies. You're creating a mini encyclopedia of relevant information.
Your own personalized study guide tailored to the exam.
Exactly. And speaking of personalized, Mahi Sir doesn't seem to have a preference when it comes to the medium. Digital or handwritten notes, it's all about what works best for you.
So if you're a tech whiz, go for those digital tools like Evernote.
Easy to organize, easy to search.
But if you're more old school, there's nothing wrong with the classic pen and paper. Some people swear that the act of writing helps them remember things better.
Yeah, there's something about that tactile experience.
So find your style and make it your own.
Absolutely. Now, these daily notes are your foundation, but Mahi Sir also recommends supplementing them with something else.
Oh, something else on top of all this.
Well, it's not that much extra work, but it's super valuable. He suggests checking out those monthly current affairs compilations from sources like Insights IAS or Drishti
I've
IAS.
heard of those. They're like condensed, organized overviews, right?
Exactly. They give you that structured, big picture view of the month's key events. It's the perfect way to revisit and solidify what you've learned. See the patterns, the trends, connect the dots.
Exactly. And that repetition is key for moving information from short-term to long-term memory.
Makes sense. So we're building this solid foundation of knowledge. But as you've mentioned before, the UPSC exam demands more than just memorizing facts.
Right, and Mahi Sir knows that. He's a big advocate for active recall and application. He suggests incorporating daily practice with MCQs and answer writing that integrates current events with your broader understanding of the syllabus.
So it's not just about knowing what happened, but about being able to analyze it, form arguments, and articulate your insights.
Exactly. It's about putting that knowledge to the test, seeing how it all fits together.
So if there's a question about, let's say, the impact of globalization on Indian agriculture, you're not just pulling facts from thin air, you're drawing on your knowledge of recent trade deals, agricultural policies, global economic trends, all of that.
Exactly. You're showing that you can think critically, connect the dots, and apply your knowledge.
That's what really sets you apart in the exam.
For sure. So we've gone from feeling overwhelmed by this massive task of staying on top of current affairs to having a structured approach. Identify reliable sources, engage in active learning, take smart notes, revise regularly, and practice consistently.
It's all about breaking it down into manageable steps.
It suddenly feels doable, almost exciting.
That's the beauty of a strategic approach. But remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Consistent effort, a genuine curiosity to understand the world around you, those are the things that will truly set you apart.
I love that. And so much great advice from Mahi Sir has been really insightful. Now I'm curious, for you, what resonated most from his guide?
I think, for me, it's that emphasis on consistency. It's not about being brilliant, it's about showing up every day and putting in the work.
I agree. It's a reminder that success in the UPSC exam, just like in life, is often about those small, consistent efforts over time. That's a great takeaway. So, for all of you listening, as you continue your UPSC journey, what will you implement first? What small change can you make today to build those strong foundations and get yourself on the path to success?
It's a great question to reflect on.
Think about that as we wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
And good luck on your journey.
Until next time.